Hitha, it is such a joy to be with you. Thank you so much for taking the time with me today. I have followed you and looked up to you for so long, and it is just a dream come true to be hanging out with you today.
Thank you so much for this conversation. I'm excited to chat.
Uh, well, can I ask? I think the thing that initially intrigued me about you is that you are a true multi hyphenate, and forgive me for the cheesy phrase, but you are an author, an investor, a mother, a speaker, an entrepreneur, and probably a thousand other things too. How did you come to embrace that identity, and what does it mean to you now to be that multi hyphenate in such a rich and robust way?
Thank you very much for those kind words. I will say it came out of necessity because introducing myself at a cocktail party or at a networking event, when people asked me what I did, it would be a lot of hyphens. So I just said, I'm a bit of a multi hyphenate. And now I tailor it to the audience, like which roles I actually pull out and introduce myself with. And the reason I kind of claim this multi hyphenate mantle and really want other people to embrace it themselves, because we all are, came from my mother, who, when I was a kid and people had asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I would be like, I want to be a fashion designer. I want to be a pop star. I want to be Mr. T from the A Team because he had great jewelry. But then my mother, being an Indian immigrant mom, was like, and a doctor and an engineer. But the use of and was so critical. And I think just I don't think she realized what she was doing when she said it, but it just opened up possibility to me that I do not have to shrink myself into a predetermined box, that I could own all the roles I wanted. And granted, would have to work hard to juggle them all at the level I had hoped to. But that sense of possibility is a gift she really gifted to me. And it's something I try to share with others in the hopes that they've had that confidence to introduce themselves with all of the hyphens.
I love that. I am personally going to be taking that myself because you're so right. Putting ourselves in that box is another way we make ourselves small. And the reality is it also then leads other people to treat us as just one thing. I often think about how so many fam tech companies talk to their customers, who are often women, as if they are children, not that they have children. And it's like, no, remember that so many of these customers are also CEOs and founders and
Mhm.
lawyers and engineers and doctors and all these things. And yes, they might happen to have children, and parenthood might be a really important part of their identity, but it's only one.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Do you find that any one part of your identity is most grounding when life becomes chaotic?
Definitely like my family roles of mom, wife, daughter. And it's one I've really gotten to root myself in this summer. We spend the summer in Pennsylvania with my parents. And so I'm dropping my kids off at camp. And then I'm taking my dad to PT and working from the waiting room, bring him back. My husband, when he comes down and we have that reliable childcare, we're actually able to go out on date nights. So when I kind of lose track of who I am or what I want to do, or if I get a little cocky and ahead of myself, nothing will humble you more than your child who does not care if you got quoted into the New York Times. And nothing will humble you more than like your mom telling you to load the dishwasher, even if you got hit a milestone at work. So I love that groundedness that my family roles give me, because at the end of the day, it takes me away from out external validation, and it forces me to just root and be, are my people okay? And am I okay with my people?
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I also think that groundedness, that kind of reservoir of confidence that you're talking about, is such a powerful um, offense and defense in the professional world too, right? Having those pieces of your life that don't roll the roller coaster of the professional world is a really beautiful thing when it comes to
Absolutely.
like tapping into your own confidence and strength.
Yes.
Ah, I love
Absolutely.
that. Eva, how do you think about this controversial topic of work life balance? And Do you seek balance? Do you think it's a myth? Do you have it? What does that actually look like for you?
For me, balance is just not tangible because I spend more time thinking about how to quantify balance.
Mm.
And there are a million different ways you can calculate it that I think for me then distracts myself from actually seeking what I view as fulfillment or flow. It is I aim for flow. I aim for moments of gentle stillness or stillness with purpose, as well as forward momentum versus making sure the scales are even on all the sides. And so I think it's important for one, people to reject whatever narrative has been thrust upon us and to find something that works for them that fits their life, that fits their family's values and the chapter they're in right now. And then to focus on what does success looks like to me. Because
Yes.
how I am able to plan and manage my day and running my own company remotely, I have a level of flexibility in my day to day that a lot of people don't have, especially if you're in an office or in an office or traveling or whatnot. Because my circumstances are so unique to me, I just focus on optimizing them for, yes, efficiency and productivity, but also for joy and for fun. Because I cannot be the best CEO, mom, writer if I'm also not filling myself and fulfilling myself with reading, with crafting, with going for a walk and listening to an audiobook inspired by Bama Rush. As much as I would love to say my day is filled with all the things I should do, making sure I prioritize the things I want to do is just as important. And that's why flow feels more tangible to me and a better metaphor than balance does.
I love that. And everything you're describing sounds incredibly intentional too. Founding your own business, doing it remotely, building in these moments of joy. Do you find that's an important part of being able to sustain this kind of multi hyphenate success?
Yes, I think you cannot define yourself by your hyphens if you cannot define yourself by your own values and interests and passions. So, something I've learned the hard way is remembering who I am before I was a wife and mom. And I've always been a daughter, but
Yeah.
before I was a
Yeah.
wife and mom, before I was an author, before I was a CEO, is who, and it is very simple. I am a bookworm. I am someone who loves to rot in front of the television for a bit. I'm
Amen.
someone who loves
Amen.
Taco Bell and Wawa and like a solid Wegmans run. And I'm someone who loves to just laugh and hang out with friends. And when I have time to craft and create.
That is so beautiful. Hitha, can I ask you selfishly? It has been such an honor to be able to be a small part of your life and the many aspects of it as the founder and CEO of Duckbill. What originally attracted you to Duckbill, and what is it about it that you feel works for you in your very full life?
I was introduced to Duckbill through my friend Serene, who we and another mom friend of ours have a like weekly or every other week standing walk date in Central Park after school drop off. And she's the one who brought it up. And, these walks are wonderful because we're all taking out our phones and like jotting down notes. But Duckbill, I remember when we got home, I was like, send me your link, please. So you get credit. And immediately it became a tool that I just offloaded my mental load to. And it meant my husband said, "Oh, I want to try this restaurant." I popped it into Duckbill and said, "Please try to find us a reservation. These are some dates and times that work for us." Oh, we got a birthday party invitation. They're putting it on my calendar. They're taking care of a birthday gift. It's getting sent to me and it's like pre wrapped if possible. It just became the I need to do this instead of going onto a random list in my notes app that I will never find again. It immediately got outsourced. And it took a little time to really build this habit, but now that it's built, it's become truly like the third parent in a sense in our relationship. And I'll give you an example of like the latest way Duckbill has really truly helping me enjoy summer much more is we have a few weeks between camp ending and school beginning where my husband and I have divvied up the days where he'll take the kids out in the morning and I have him in the afternoon. I am an indoor person. I like staying at home. So I do not want to ferret them around the city. So I was like, what are some activities we can do to keep them busy? And they've been into a few things this summer and in general. So, like everybody else, we're obsessed with K-pop Demon Hunters. My kids love the best. My kids love Pokemon and they're loving the old school DuckTales. My eldest son just went to sleepaway camp and is still very much in that camping vibe. So I asked Duckbill, these are 5 things my kids are really loving. For each of these topics, please find a easy baking recipe that is minimal ingredients. A craft we can do, coloring sheets are fine. A physical craft would be great. This is our budget. Something we can watch themed with it. Some dinner ideas that I could serve a themed meal around. And I forget the last thing, but I'll share it later. And I got this like for Pokemon, it's like here is a Pikachu gem art kit. For Minecraft, it's like here are those little iron fuse beads things that we can do. You know, for they gave us a lava chicken recipe idea for dinner for Minecraft, for K-pop Demon Hunters, because it's still so new. They found some coloring sheets off Etsy, which is great. But then they also sent me some YouTube videos and it's like learn the choreography for soda pop or whatnot. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to exhaust my kids so much. This is wonderful.
Perfect. Oh, and not having to do all that legwork and research and have it. I'm going to be requesting a copycat of that exact curriculum. It just sounds like a joy for my kids
Yes.
and for
I
me.
will
Let's
throw
be
it on Substack for everybody to enjoy because I think we all need it. And then for myself, being a child of the late 80s, early 90s, I was like, what would a My Little Pony one look like? What would a Rainbow Bright one look like?
wait, actually, can we just have like a party for all of us 80s, 90s kids on that? Yeah,
Yes.
that sounds like a dream.
Us elder millennial daughters.
Exactly, exactly. The geriatric millennial
Love it.
leak of joy. I love
Yeah.
it. I love this. Hitha, you have built a platform around being candidly, visibly you in all your facets in such an inspiring way. What advice would you give others who feel pressure to shrink themselves down or simplify themselves to be easier to understand? How might we all learn from the confidence that you give all of us every day?
Um, Thank you so much. I If there's one thing I think I want everyone to do is just practice being a little bit braver than you previously were before. To try to say, I'm going to all of a sudden change my personality and revamp my hyphens is a very eldest daughter perfectionist tendency to do. So I am going to encourage you do what I didn't do, which is to take baby steps to maybe you're introducing yourself with another title, not just what you do for work. Maybe you are putting on your family calendar, I am taking these 2 hours for myself. And you can lock yourself in a room with a great romance novel and like one of those red light masks on or one of the face masks you probably have like in a drawer
Collective
somewhere.
nest, yeah.
Exactly. And do something for yourself and start making that like a bit of a priority. I think it just starts with baby steps into owning your hyphens because even though everyone does have a very multi hyphenated identity, we haven't been given permission externally to show up as our full selves. Society still loves to shrink us into our boxes because it's comfortable and convenient for the men who have typically always been in power. There's something I wrote in my book, We're Speaking, which is how view how Kamala Harris views power, which is also how I view it, is traditionally power has been viewed as finite and extremely precious, which is why the people who have always had it tend to hoard it. And they care more about keeping it than what to do with it. I believe power is infinite, much like love is when you have a second child, your heart doesn't divide, it doubles. Power in the hands of many will only grow power and make things better for everybody. And so this is my way of saying claim the power is there. This fallacy that it's finite and limited is a figment of men's imagination. So start claiming it, but also don't overwhelm yourself with claiming all of it. Take baby steps to start owning all your hyphens and start stepping into that power that you rightfully deserve and have earned.
I'm going to end it on that unbelievably high note. I feel so inspired. I will now be taking the baby step of introducing myself with a few more hyphens with your encouragement, Hitha. This is so inspiring. Thank you so much for taking the time and sharing of yourself in this way. It means so much.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for Duckbill because you literally have made my life so much better.
It is truly an honor and a joy.